Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
All right, Miss Rowe, are you all set?
Yes, Your Honor.
There we go. All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, I've spoken with Mr. Boulay, and Mr. Boulay is indicating that he is likely to hire private counsel on his matter, or either will be representing himself.
All right.
I do not believe he's confirming for trial on the 3rd or the 6th or the 7th. I believe we will need to make new court dates.
All right, so Mr. Boulay, are you trying to hire a private attorney to represent you in this case then?
Possibly, yes.
Okay.
Or my constitutional representative. I mean,
All right.
all my laws are violated against me, all my rights were taken from me and stuff like that. And I'm not happy about it. Everything was wrong. They don't have an RAS, SAF, none of that stuff. I mean, what they did was totally wrong. They assaulted me, incarcerated me, kidnapped me, and handcuffed my cousin, 65 years old, never been in trouble in her day in her life, and got handcuffed right in our house. They had no reason to come to my house. So, I'm not happy about this. And this is not going to go over easy for you guys.
All right. All right, Mr. Boulay, I'm going to set your case aside for you to calm down, take a breath, and be ready to address the court properly. But first, I'm going to handle some other cases. In the meantime, your microphone's going to be muted, and I expect you to leave it that way until your case is called again. All right, Ms. Rowe, shall we go back now and see if we can address Mr. Boulay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Boulay, you still with us?
Your Honor, I might temper my Mr. Boulay is a constitutionalist, and Mr. Boulay feels strongly that he would like to secure an attorney that can state his position to the court or either represent himself on this matter. I'm not sure if the court remembers Mr. Boulay, but Mr. Boulay was before this court back in December when I was in Arizona, and he objected to our trial dates being reset outside of his very important right to a speedy trial. At that hearing, the court indicated that the court actually set January court dates for our confirmation and jury trial dates. Those dates somehow slipped between the cracks and were not ever attended. Subsequently, his case was reset now for February court dates, but I can represent to the court that Mr. Boulay has, from the inception of his case, strongly noted his opinion about not continuing his trial dates. I believe they may have been continued more than once, but they were all continued for what the court found was good cause. However, Mr. Boulay did not agree with the court's position on those matters. He is obviously before the court now. And I just wanted to give the court a little backstory on Mr. Boulay's representations to the court today by just letting the court know that he is what I would term a constitutionalist. maybe the court can hear from Mr. Boulay himself.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Boulay, what I want to know is what you want to do about representation, whether that's Ms. Rowe, another attorney, or yourself. And in light of that, how does that affect the trial dates that we have set for you for March 6th?
It affects it. I don't have those. I have those discoveries or nothing yet. I have my discoveries get here and all that stuff because once I get my discoveries and stuff like that, I'm just send a motion in there on dismissal first of all. And
Right.
as far as me getting an attorney, that'll take me probably a year because I'm on Social Security disability. I get peanuts. I get saved for an attorney. It's going to take at least a year to save for it. So you're better off if I go myself. But I've got a constitutional attorney for us, and I'm going to get him hopefully to come take care of it for me. You there? Oh.
Yeah, Mr. Boulay, I can hear you.
Okay. I mean, I didn't ask for any continuance. I don't know what happened in January. I never even heard of January. So I have never, yeah. I mean, is there an SA? Excuse me, sir. Is there an SAF filed at all in those paperwork?
I don't know what you're referring to.
Reasonable articulate suspicion that I committed a crime. If they don't have that, do they have an SAF in their report?
Previously found, Your Honor.
I'm not going to go down this path like this.
Well, I understand that, but you guys are intruding my path now.
Mute the phone, please. All right, and Mr. Boulay, and for the record, I've had your microphone muted because you're not answering my question as I had asked you to do earlier, and you're agitated and talking about things that apparently don't have anything to do with the question that I asked. So, Ms. Rowe, Mr. Thompson, my inclination is to leave this case set as is for trial on March 6th. I mean, what I'm hearing here, if I can distill it down to what's being said, is that Mr. Boulay is just upset about this whole thing, and he has an opinion about how speedy trial works, which is fine. I mean, in any kind of case, whether a person's characterized as a constitutionalist or not, they might disagree with court rulings. They might disagree with their attorney's trial strategy. They might disagree with their attorney's characterization of what the law is. And that is fine, and that is normal. And I don't think that's any kind of obstacle to trying a case. But it is important that if those are the facts and there is such a disagreement, that the individual with that disagreement comport themselves in the proper way in court so that the case can be tried, and legal issues that may have been laid down and decided during the course of the pretrial hearings can be properly appealed if the outcome of the trial is adverse. But I don't think it gets us anywhere to try to address Mr. Boulay's legal concepts and concerns. That's your job, Ms. Rowe, to present his legal case to the court. He's not free to, as a person who's represented, he's not free to also represent himself as an attorney and present his own legal theories to the court and argue them. So at this point, he's been previously advised of his rights. He's elected to accept appointed counsel from the court. It is the eve of trial, which is set on March 6th. This case has been continued previously for a good cause as found by the court. Engaging in this kind of discussion at this late stage which appears to be nothing more than satisfying an intellectual position that Mr. Boulay has, is just what I perceive to be a mechanism to delay and extend the case. His most direct answer to the question that I asked him was that he would take at least a year to try to find an attorney. I don't think that's a realistic option in any way. So at this late stage, it would be inappropriate. It would not serve the interest of justice to allow Mr. Boulay extra time to hire a different attorney from you, Ms. Rowe, nor would it be appropriate to let him represent himself. And he's clearly not prepared to do that. And any request that he may be making to do that, I interpret as just a way to try to delay and extend the proceedings instead of going to trial. So I am going to mark this case down as confirmed for March 6th at 9 a.m. for trial. Mr. Boulay, as I said, I had your microphone muted because I couldn't count on you to listen.
I'm listening.
You are going to be represented by Ms. Rowe in this case. You're going to continue to be represented by her. She is going to perform her functions as your attorney, and the case is confirmed for trial on March 6th. I expect that you will attend in person. I also expect that when you do, you'll behave appropriately at that time. This bantering and argument and randomly bringing up legal theories is not appropriate. That is not how court is conducted. I don't know what you may have seen or heard before, but I'm going to expect proper courtroom decorum and behavior on everyone's part, including yours. And I'm not going to detail it any more than that because everyone already knows how to behave properly in court. So I expect that will be the case.
I understand that, but I got something to say. I have a right to who defends me. I don't want her to defend me. I've never even talked to her. I talked to her before they gave her continuance because she went out of state for Christmas. That was them who gave the continuance. The second continuance, I didn't even know about it. I didn't ask for any continuance whatsoever. And I don't want her to represent me because we don't even have time to prepare for the case because she hasn't even talked to me about anything. Nothing. It's the first time. It's the only time I talked to her is when I come on to Zoom. It's the only time I talked to her. Other than that, I've never talked to her. And I don't have to accept her for my legal representation. And I was being kind of a smart ass about the 1 year because the money I make right now for disability is very, very, very little. And so it means I'd have to save to get an attorney. So that's what I meant by a year. I don't want to wait for a year. I want this over now so I can get my lawsuits going.
Yeah, well, this case is going to be resolved by trial, and that's going to commence on March 6th.
Well, what too? You're going to try me without it? She's not going to have her represent me.
Ms. Rowe is your attorney in this case.
No, I didn't pick her. You guys can't just tell me who I can have for an attorney.
Your Honor, I think it would be important to remind the defendant that it's not trial by Zoom either. He would need to be here in person.
I don't know how clear I was on that point, but trial is conducted in person and not by Zoom. So all appearances after this one are in person at the courthouse.
And Your Honor, could I inquire whether the state was confirming today?
We were.
Apparently, yes. Okay, that will conclude Mr. Boulay's matter for today. And I believe that will also conclude the calendar.
Mr. Boulay, I will be calling you.
Yeah.
I will be calling you on Monday.
He can't tell me that shit. He can't tell me who I can have for an attorney.
Hi, Ms. Rowe. Do you have a client with us?
I do not, Your Honor. Mr. Boulay is, I'm
Are
not
you in the right?
exact, I,
Oh, there he is. That's right. I'm sorry. Now I'm up to date. That was supposed to be the change of plea today.
it is, he's not present, is he?
Just trying to figure out what's this on for jury trial? So
I can
Defendant called the
explain.
first. He said he was in the hospital on the first, unsure if he will be out before hearing. So what happened?
What happened, unfortunately, on my behalf was I did not call him yesterday and tell him his hearing was changed to courtroom 3. I have been trying to hunt him down for the last few minutes, but I did not let him know that the courtroom had changed. I do know that this was an agreed order. And Mr. Boulay, when I talked to him on Monday, he sounded very weak. I could hear that he was not well. All I was going to ask, this is an agreed motion to continue, and we were just going to ask the court to reset confirmation and jury trial dates. I had gotten his agreement to continue the hearing and to prepare a speedy trial waiver if one is needed. I'm just asking the court to waive his presence today and reset because I did not tell him what courtroom to be in yesterday as I had planned to.
So are you filing a speedy trial waiver or not?
I will, if the court,
Okay.
I didn't know if the court felt more comfortable finding an excluded period. We felt more comfortable filing a speedy trial waiver, so I will send one to the clerk immediately after this hearing.
Okay, all right. So with today's day number 1 is commencement date on a 90-day clock. So Mr. Fortunato, anything?
No, Your Honor, the state is in agreement.
Okay, so any change to your client's mailing address or text number?
No, not that I know of, not at all, no.
All right, so work on that speedy trial waiver. I'll grant your continuance request. That does put us in an excluded period, but if you file your speedy trial waiver, that'll rule. And we'll get this reset on the Boulay matter for confirmation and jury dates and send out notice.
Thank you. Could the court let me know who the clerk is today? I have the waiver
Sure.
prepared. I'll just send it over to her.
Mindy Ballinger.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I'll get it to her right
Thanks.
away.
All right.
Thank you.